of football management has obviously given Aidy Boothroyd a new lease of life. Colchester United now hope they can benefit from his enthusiasm after choosing him as the man to take the club forward. And his time without a club hasn't been wasted.
I've watched Liverpool, Man United, Fulham, Everton. I've been over to Ajax, AZ Alkmaar, watched Louis van Gaal. So I've spent time watching and improving, studying the game and just thinking about what I can do when I come back.
At 38, Boothroyd remains one of the youngest managers in league football, and he's no stranger to the region too. He spent 2 seasons at Peterborough as a player, but turned to coaching at London Road when his playing career was cut short by injury. He was youth coach at Norwich for 2 years and later became manager of Watford, taking them to the Premier League in 2006 before losing his job last November. And Boothroyd was twice linked with the vacant Norwich manager's job following the dismissals of Peter Grant and Glenn Roeder. Now the challenge of Colchester excites him.
We've had a lot of change here, and it's time for somebody to put some markers in the sand and start leading and start making sure that people improve and people be the best they can be, because if you do that, you've got a chance of achieving what other people can't.
As for Colchester's former boss Paul Lambert, now with Norwich, the issue of compensation is still way short of being agreed between the two clubs.
Therefore, we will go to tribunal, and the tribunal will decide on 2 issues. One, what the level of compensation for, not just for salaries, but also the inconvenience and the players that have just been bought, and then whether an approach was made that was improper.
You spelt it right.
It's more than a fortnight to Colchester's next home game, so the dream ticket for you supporters will be 2 away wins to start the Boothroyd era, starting at Southampton on Saturday. Donovan Blake, Anglia News, Colchester.
Well, Colchester and Norwich were both in action in the Johnson's Paint Trophy last night. Norwich's excellent run under new manager Paul Lambert, that continued after they beat the fellow League One side Brentford, thanks to a Chris Martin goal there, while Aidy Boothroyd's new charges, they lost on penalties, alas, to Gillingham.
Well, Colchester also signed Watford's John Joe O'Toole on loan just before the transfer window closed last night, while Ipswich paraded one of their deadline day signings this afternoon. Grant Leadbitter is one of 2 Sunderland players moving to Portman Road. The former England under-21 international has signed a 3-year contract and will be joined by Trinidad and Tobago winger Carlos Edwards when he returns from international duty. Now, the father of a boy of 7 who's been awarded a GCSE in maths says many children are capable of doing the same with the right instruction and support.
Take his word for it. The youngster from West Norfolk spent just 11 weeks preparing for the exam, usually sat by 15 and 16-year-olds. Natalie Gray went to meet a quite amazing family.
Ibraheem loves cricket and football and chess. He's not particularly keen on maths, but he's good at it. He's just been awarded a GCSE in the subject and he's only 7. He was predicted to get an A grade, but missed out by just 3% and was awarded a B, although they are planning to have his paper remarked. Hopelessly out of my depth, he talked me through what he said was a fairly easy question.
If 1 metre is divided into 7 equal parts, what is the length of each part to the nearest centimetre? I'm just going to get into 1, which is 0, so I didn't put anything there.
Yes.
Then you have to find how many zeros go into 10.
We'll come back to that later.
Yeah. Yes.
But Ibraheem isn't the only star in this family. Big brother Yusuf got an A-star grade in GCSE maths last year at the age of 9.
Now I'm going for biology GCSEs and Italian GCSEs.
Gosh, and you're still only little, aren't you? You're still only 10. Their father is a self-employed business consultant who teaches both boys at their home in Marshland St James near Wisbech. There will be some parents watching this who will feel that Yusuf and Ibraheem are too young to be sitting exams like this. What would you say to that?
Well, I don't think there's any age when someone's too young. The question is whether there's undue pressure being put on a child, and I think you've spoken to them today. They don't look like they're pressured children. If you give them some focus, and it's obviously in the way that these subjects are taught to them, if they find it relevant and exciting, then it is something they grasp with both hands.
So what are you going to be when you grow up?
An explorer.
Wow! Where are you going to go and explore?
The world and the galaxy.
Musa here is only 3 and he knows his 2 times table. What are 1 2s?
1 2 3.
And 2 2s are?
4.
And 3 2s are...
6.
And 4 2s There are 5 children in this family, so expect more dramatic results. So the answer to the question is...
14.285871. And they have to round it up to the nearest whole number and make it 14 centimetres.
Natalie Gray, Anglia News, Marshall and St James in West Norfolk.
You are clever, aren't you? I know they were saying that boys are overtaking girls in the GCSE maths this year, but I think that's just taking it a bit far. It's incredible.
The boys didn't look stressed at all, but I really like Natalie Gray's technique there. Just ask the question. So what actually is the question? They get it again, and then get the answer. But yeah, that's correct, actually.
Yeah,
yes,
well
done.
yeah.
Yes, because I was, of course, exactly the same answer that Natalie Gray had there.
Well, we're working out all those sums. Here's Mark and Mary's what to expect on the national news in a couple of minutes.
2 teenagers went on trial today.